There's no question about whether or not Mastiffs are the most dangerous dogs in the world. They are. But even though they're the toughest out of the dogs, they're still only dogs, and when facing actual predators, they can get absolutely crushed, which is exactly what we're about to see today. When I first watched this clip, I thought the wolf was just eating something and the dogs came to challenge it for its meal, but that wasn't the case at all. The wolf had actually been fighting with the dogs for some time, and it ended up killing one of them, and it was now devouring the canine's corpse. The dogs went at the wolf from all sides at once, figuring they'd overwhelm it, but this wolf was something else. It not only broke free from their attack, but it turned the tables on them. It charged at one of the dogs and sank its teeth in, which was probably terrifying for the dog after having just watched its buddy get killed by the angry predator. After that, the Mastiffs learned their lesson. They backed off and never tried to mess with that wolf again. I thought the wolf had beaten 5 Mastiffs all by itself, but it turned out there were only 5 because it had killed the 6th during the battle. What a badass wolf. While this wolf was trying to satisfy its hunger next to a huge Tibetan Mastiff, the dog decided to show off. It had a massive ego, and it jumped the wolf, pinned it down, and swiped some of its food. Not because it was hungry, mind you, just to flex and remind everyone who was top dog. The wolf was a total pushover, and it looked scared out of its mind. After the Mastiff messed with its food for a bit, the wolf went back to eating, but it was clear that it was still freaked out. The poor thing was probably just praying that it doesn't tick off the big bully Mastiff again. Five massive Tibetan Mastiffs, looking more like bears than dogs, surrounded this one lone snow leopard. You'd think the big cat would be toast, right? But the stubborn feline was something else. When the dogs launched their group attack, thinking they had it in the bag, the cat just went berserk. It was like watching a kung fu master take on a bunch of rookies. The leopard was all over the place, dodging and striking, and one by one, it took the giant dogs down. It was wiping the floor with them, and the Mastiffs quickly realized they were outmatched and decided to hightail it out of there. Big cats and pet cats are not the same, guys. Hope you learned your lesson. Three huge Tibetan Mastiffs spotted this young bear and decided to go after it. They caught up to the bear and surrounded the poor thing. Then they launched a group attack on it. Who knows what they were after, but they were definitely trying to take the bear down. The bear was almost a baby one, but it turned out to be one tough cookie. It didn't exactly hurt the dogs, but man did it give them a run for their money. The bear was dodging left and right, keeping the big dogs on their toes the whole time. And in the end, it made a break for it. The dogs never even tried to chase after it, as they had figured that it was way more trouble than it was worth. What a nightmarish scene we've got here. Two big Tibetan Mastiffs were snoozing when this hungry leopard snuck up on them. It pounced one dog, grabbing its neck in its killer jaws. The other dog woke up and tried to help, but the leopard was too smart. It jumped away, still holding onto its victim, but keeping clear of the second dog. It didn't want to fight both at once, and it had to think quickly. The captured dog was struggling very hard, but the leopard had a death grip on it. The other dog was leashed up, and it was going crazy trying to break free and save its buddy. It couldn't, though. Could you imagine watching your friend get attacked just a few feet away and not being able to do anything about it? What a sad scene. This clip shows a wolf carrying a dead Tibetan Mastiff in its mouth and walking away with it like a snack. It must have just killed it. This is pretty shocking to watch, as Tibetan Mastiffs are usually tough enough to defend themselves against lone wolves. Maybe that Mastiff got a bit too cocky and underestimated the wolf? Bad move if that's what happened. Wolves are no joke, they're very skilled hunters, and they're tough as nails. Here we have 5 massive Tibetan Mastiffs, probably the biggest you've ever seen, and they decided to pick on a giant bear. Not their smartest move. The dogs were going nuts, barking their heads off. The bear was just taking it for a while, but you could see it was getting fed up. Suddenly, it snapped. It had had enough, and it grabbed one of the dogs and slammed it to the ground before starting to bite it viciously. After giving the dog a good shake, the bear just walked off. It didn't try to kill the dog. It only wanted to show the pack what would happen to them if they dared to actually cross the line. A bunch of Tibetan Mastiffs were on guard duty here, and a pack of wolves suddenly showed up, just passing through, minding their own business. The dogs spotted them and went nuts. They started barking at the top of their lungs, trying to scare the wolves away. When that didn't work, they tried charging at the wolves, all confident and whatnot. But when one wolf turned its attention to them, just one, those big, brave Mastiffs hit the brakes. It was like someone had flipped a switch. 1 second they were all tough, the next they were backing up, tails between their legs. These dogs were tailing an annoyed snow leopard, and they had no idea what they were messing with. They kept barking at it non-stop, and they got pretty close to it, but it was clear that they were all bark and no bite. The leopard was moving away slowly like, ugh, not this again. And it wasn't looking for trouble, but the dogs just wouldn't shut up. They kept pushing their luck, getting closer and yapping away, testing the leopard's patience. Finally, the big cat had had enough, and it grabbed one of the dogs and slammed it to the ground. It then started biting the poor thing, and the dog was probably really regretting its decision at that moment. 2 wolves and a massive Tibetan Mastiff that was twice their size got into it here. At least, that's what it looked like at first, but they were actually all buddies as it turned out. The wolves were all over the big dog, looking like they were running the show, but it was all just play acting. They weren't out to hurt their giant pal at all. And the Mastiff? It could have totally taken both of them if it wanted to. The giant dog was probably the boss here, but it was letting the wolves pretend like they were the top dogs for a bit. They were all just having fun. Did you enjoy this video? Please let us know in the comments section down below. And don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. And please, turn on your notifications bell to get notified when we upload a new video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.